Now to Ukraine, and the governor of the country's second largest city, Kharkiv, says at least 6 people have been injured in Russia's latest missile attack. Buildings and cars have been damaged, as well as a gas pipeline in the center of the city. The Kharkiv mayor said that 2 long-range missiles were used in the attack. He added that the city is trying to restore the gas supply to the affected area. It's been more than 2 years now since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Since then, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian men have been called up to serve in the military. Many have not returned. We spoke to one mother who is coming to terms with her own loss.
Natalia Studnik had 3 sons when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
This is my son, my youngest son.
Last summer, Natalia buried her youngest, Oleksiy. He served in some of the bloodiest battles of the war.
My youngest was in Solidar. After Solidar, he was in Bakhmut. After Bakhmut, he was in Kherson. And he was near Antonivka in Kherson. There's a country village called Antonivska. He was killed there.
The day of Oleksiy's death, Natalia tried to convince him to leave the army. She feared he'd share the same fate as her eldest son, Serhiy, who had just been reported missing. Her middle son, Andriy, is also listed as missing. Natalia hopes her older sons are alive, but there's been no confirmation. She likes to remember them as they appear in these photos.
This is my eldest son, Serhiy. This is my Andriusha. This is Alyosha. They were happy. My boys can do everything, cooking and baking. They grew up well. They grew up together. I have boys who read a lot. All 3 of them graduated from music school.
Natalia is supported by her daughters-in-law, Olena and Olesya. They call her mother.
We tried to call whenever possible to ask how Mom is doing.
I live closer, so she comes to us, sits with her grandchildren. My mother is also retired, but if there's no one...
We ask Mom to come, and she does.
Since their husbands disappeared, Olena and Olesya are in constant contact, trying to find out what happened to them. No one gives us any official confirmation. Olesya and I wrote letters together to the security service of Ukraine. We constantly receive the same answer, that the Russian side does not provide any information. There is no confirmation of any kind. Natalia says the lack of information is unbearable, but she hasn't lost hope that she'll one day be able to hug her sons again.
What can I say? Honestly, I try to smile and not show my emotions. I take fewer walks so that no one asks what's going on. If they do, my head starts to hurt and I run away. I don't want to be seen.
Our correspondent Karolina Chimoy is in Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and joins us now. Karolina, Ukraine is trying to mobilize more of its population for military service, including those living abroad. How important is this recruitment drive for Ukraine?
Oh, this is quite important. Terry, the commander-in-chief already said that he needs at least 250,000 more soldiers. And we also know that Russian troops outnumber Ukrainian troops by up to 10 times. This means that for every Ukrainian soldier, there could be as many as 10 Russian soldiers. So it is a very important point for Ukraine to get more manpower, not only more weapons, but also more soldiers, more manpower.
So how are they going about that exactly, Karolina? What does this new recruitment drive entail?
Well, Terry, all men between 18 and 60 years old have to register with Ukrainian's military. And not only that, but they also have to carry the registration on them at all time, because Ukrainian authorities are allowed to ask them anywhere about this registration. And it has to be up to date. If it is not, they don't only have to pay a fee, but they also have to immediately register with Ukrainian's military. So also for all all men in service age who are living abroad, they will not be able to renew their passports, for example, at Ukrainian consulates without registering for the military. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Kuleba, he also said that this is only fair for the soldiers who are fighting right now at the front line, because it cannot be an excuse to be a Ukrainian man in that age and just because they're living abroad to not be fighting in a country that is at war, of course. The aim of all this, Terry, is of course to make the recruitment procedure more transparent and more efficient according to Ukrainian government officials.
Now, our report features a woman who had 3 sons in the war. One was killed, 2 are now missing. Some countries put limits on the number of siblings who can go to war. Is there no such restriction in Ukraine, Carolina?
There is not such a restriction, Terry, and this is why this woman had to let their sons go to the war. There are no laws that would prohibit this. And as I mentioned, it is quite important from the Ukrainian military perspective to get more soldiers right now, because without more help from the Western countries and without more manpower, Ukraine will lose this war.
Carolina, thank you very much. That was our correspondent, Carolina Chimoy, in Kyiv.